What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Revival. My name is JJ, and this is part 3 of my PS2 collection. Alright, so we'll get right into it. If you haven't noticed by the other two videos, it's very JRPG heavy. This was still when I was super mainly focused on those. So yeah, that's why. First one up is a game that I have not played, and that's Tales of Legendia. I love the Tales series though, so I have no doubt that I'm going to find some enjoyment in this game because, oh man, dude, I love the Tales series. I really do, and I'm super excited to eventually check this out because I have yet to not enjoy a Tales game. This is the only Tales game that I have played but not finished yet, and that is Tales of the Abyss. It's, from what I remember, it's a little more grindy than the others. I haven't played this version. I played it on the 3DS, and that might be why I stopped, because my hands get really tired from holding the DS screen and using those buttons for so long. And with these, they're super grindy, and you have to, it's action combat, so you're going to be doing that for a while. But I do remember liking what I played of it, and definitely want to finish it at some point. I don't know whether I'll start on PS2 again, or if I start on PS2 or go back to the 3DS version, but definitely one of those at some point. Next is the first of the Dot Hack games, and that is Dot Hack Infection, Mutation, Outbreak, and Quarantine. I've finished the first 3, and I'm on Quarantine. It's been so long since I've played it though, that I probably should start over. I don't remember how long they were, but they seemed long at the time. I imagine I could probably find shortcuts and find easier ways to level and stuff nowadays, but they're so repetitive, which is the problem and why they're hard to stick with. But the story is really intriguing, and I really like the characters, and I like the idea behind it. Like, you're sending emails to these NPCs and who are supposed to be real people, and you get to choose who you want to group with, and it's fun. If you like MMOs, but you don't like playing with other people, these games are worth checking out for sure. They're not cheap, though, from what I understand. I bought pretty much all of them at release, though. Next up is Persona 3. Haven't played it. Definitely want to. I wrote out a list of 20 games that I wanted to finish in 2019. This is on it. I've finished 10 games so far on there. This is definitely one of the ones that I would like to finish this year, so I will be getting to this at some point. This game, when I first started listening to the RPG cast from rpgamer.com, this very beginning, like first few episodes, this is the game they were talking about, like every single episode. And so I've always, remembered that, and I definitely want to go back and try it. And I played 5. This was my first entry into the series. My entry into the series, and I loved it. It was so good. So I definitely want to check that out. And 4 as well, obviously. Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, same kind of deal. I haven't played it yet, but I've heard amazing things, and I definitely want to check it out. I think it looks pretty dark and pretty brutal, which would make sense if it's a Shin Megami Tensei game. So definitely want to check this out as well. And these are as well. That's Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2. I've always liked games where you can carry over stats and anything from one game to the next, and that's exactly what you can do in these from what I understand. So definitely looking forward to getting into these. They're really weird looking, for sure, and from what I understand, that is true. They are. So I'm excited to try them out, though. Next up, we've got more Dot Hack games, and these I did not buy at release. These I bought years later, and they were not cheap. I have not played it, and I probably won't play it on PS2. I'll probably play the remaster that just came out, and that is Dot Hack GU Volume 1 Rebirth, Volume 2 Reminisce, and Volume 3 Redemption. I like the original Dot Hack games, so there's no reason to think I wouldn't like these as well. One thing I wish, though, and I understand why they did it this way, I wish you could choose your character, like what class you got to play in those. I get it. I totally understand why, because it's part of the story and everything, because you're playing a specific character. But it would be cool if you could kind of make your own person. Next one I reviewed on the show, the Frozen North podcast. And that's Silent Hill 2. I'd never played a Silent Hill game before, and then Ryan from the Suikoden Revival movement recommended this wholeheartedly, was always talking about it. He was like, if I'm not talking about Suikoden, I'm talking about Silent Hill. So I was like, well, I had to try it then. I did, and it's really, really impressive. I will say it's not my kind of game overall, but it's one of those where even if it's not your kind of game, I still would recommend trying this out, because the storytelling and the just the way that you can kind of make your own way through the story and end it in specific ways. I don't want to say more than that, but just there's so much subtlety in these that if you look for, and I didn't even realize half of them until afterwards when Ryan pointed them out and said, did you catch this? Did you catch that? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I caught that, but I didn't make that connection. Holy crap. Really, really impressive game, for sure. I should have had this on with the other one when I did Grand Theft Auto 3. This is Vice City. This one is, I remember this story a little bit more, because I think you're part of the mafia or something, right? It's freaking Grand Theft Auto. Same thing. I barely played the story. I just goofed off and caused havoc. That was it. Great game, though. Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. I am a big Lord of the Rings fan. I picked this up because it looked like action, fun, good stuff. And that's what it is. It was it just hack and slash, just beating the crap out of orcs and evil creatures. And fun stuff. MTV Music Generator 2. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. That's exactly what it is. You basically just put together tracks of music, and for those of you that don't know, one of my dreams growing up, music is such a big part for me in video games, and this was kind of a way to explore that a little bit and create my own. So I picked it up because it was super cheap, and I was like, why not? And I made stuff that I thought sounded kind of neat and kind of cool. So yeah, that's all that is. Music is just always gets me. If you could have the worst game in the world, but if you got good music, I'm still gonna check out the game. Beyond Good and Evil. Picked it up, but I have not played it yet. I know. I'm well aware of the reputation this game has as being fantastic. I definitely need to check it out. I am fully aware of that, and I will for sure. I'd like to before the new one comes out, because I've heard nothing but amazing things about this. Twisted Metal Black. I loved Twisted Metal 2, and I liked Twisted Metal 3. This was a phenomenal game, honestly. I think this one is probably just as good as 2. I like 2 a little more just because of nostalgia, but from a gameplay standpoint, this is probably better. But I like it just as much. Twisted Metal Black is spectacular. I think you can get it on PS4 as well, so it should be pretty cheap on there. So definitely check it out if you just want. You're literally just cars, beating the crap out of each other, and it's just a lot of fun. SOCOM. This game was huge when it came out. And I have the box somewhere. I don't know where, but I have the big, fat cardboard box that it came in with the microphone and all that stuff. I played it online a few times, but I was never very good at it, so I didn't play it much. when it comes to first-person shooters, I'm much better at PC gaming. But I did remember having a good time with this when I played it. Kessen 2. This sounded so intriguing to me. Like, you're in big, giant, epic battles. And you are, like, you know, a badass warrior. And I'm trying to think of... It's almost like I thought that concept sounded really cool, that you're in these huge epic battles and you're like literally dropped down in the middle of them, and so you're fighting all these other guys. It wasn't 100% what I thought it was going to be. Like, you have to do specific objectives. You can't just run around like taking out the enemy troops and stuff like that, because it really doesn't do much. You actually have to do the objectives that it tells you, which is kind of annoying. I wanted to just be in this giant battle, almost like what For Honor is now. But I'm not crazy about that gameplay, because I like just attacking and being a crazy swordsman and not blocking and dodging and stuff like that. But that's kind of what I was looking for. It wasn't here. Neat game, but not something I spent too much time with. Midway Arcade Treasures 2. I got it because it's got Mortal Kombat 2 and 3, and that's probably the only reason I bought this, to be honest with you. Because I enjoyed those games growing up on Super Nintendo. So yeah, just a collection of older games. Medal of Honor Frontline, as I mentioned before, I love those historical games, and this one starts you out storming the beaches of Normandy, and it's just really, really well done. Had a good time playing it. It's tough. It's not an easy game, but it was fun to play through. I mentioned this in a pickups video a while ago. I don't know much about Jak and Daxter, but I saw this super cheap, and I was like, alright, I'll pick it up. It's Jak and Daxter, The Lost Frontier. And when I bought it, the guy told me that's like the worst one in the entire series. Don't judge the rest of the series on that game alone. So I probably won't play this for a while, if ever, because he told me not to play it. But I still picked it up because it was cheap, so why not? And the final one I've got is Blood Omen 2. I loved Legacy of Kain on PS1. It is one of the first games that I played on that system, and it was just so good and so impressive to see the cutscenes and everything, and the gameplay was really, really well done. So I thought I'd try this one as well. I have not played it yet, though, but I definitely want to at some point. Alright, part 3, we're just about done. Part 4 is going to be this stack here, and that's it for PS2. As you can see, my shelves are completely bare, because that's like what was up there. So it'll be nice to get these back up there. But yeah, I will see you guys next week. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And until then, keep on gaming.